Hey, salon owner, if you had to start over tomorrow, that means no team, no software, no systems, just your skills, your experience, and maybe a cape. What would you do differently?
Oh, yes. Today is going to be a fun one. We are taking you way back to the days of whiteout and calculator tape. And that's right, the yellow pages, because we are going to be talking about the things that we did early in our salon owner days that we thought were genius, but actually make us laugh now.
Yeah, and more importantly, we're sharing exactly what we do instead if we had to start over tomorrow. So you can skip some of those face planning or face palming moments and fast track your growth. All right, so let's start here. I don't know about this, but do you remember when we used to? I know we did, Lindsay. I'm sure you did too. We used to have to track all of our appointments in a paper book.
Yes. Jen, not only do I remember, but I had two colors of highlighter and a mechanical pencil in my desk drawer at all times, and the book was my BFF. And don't even get me started on doing the math at the end of the night because I mean, Jen and I actually we have matching calculators. I don't, of course, now mine's not handy right here, but we joked around the first time. We're like, wow, we have matching calculators. But man, we still use calculators, but we used to use those things all the time. Do you remember that, Jen?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
I do. I remember, it was one of those ones that would at like it was like a typewriter calculator. So you'd be like 45 plus 45 plus. And so it would print it with you 45, 45. So you get this roll of paper at the end of the night and you're like, wow. When you think about that, it's like literally flipping through like a Lisa Frank notebook, hoping to see if we made more this month than we did last month. And now, we don't have to play like that anymore. Nowadays we have software, we have Mevo, Boulevard, Forest, whatever it may be, whatever fits your business. And then I think the most beautiful part of that is when we started having that salon software, and then we got to integrate with QuickBooks, and boom, one click, and we can see exactly what's working, what needs attention. I found my first P&L about 2 years ago, and it was actually just something I must have typed up on Word. I'm not sure. I would assume it was Word, and it was just what we brought in, our expenses, and then what was left wasn't very much at all. And so that was the way we track. Hey, but at least we were tracking it. But that was the way we were tracking it when we first started.
Yeah, Jen, and you know what? I'm just gonna say I'm impressed that yours was on Word because mine was like one of those. Do you remember those little notebooks? They were green and they had like
Mm,
little boxes and like they would have like a longer part in the beginning and then they'd have like all those different
yes,
boxes.
yes.
That was my first P&L statement was on something like that. And I just want to say, if you're still tracking by paper, I love you, but you might consider an upgrade because you don't need more time. You need better tools, because I think once you kind of learn, hey, those tools can make your life so much easier, you start to realize like how much you can buy back your time. And, I think that is one of the most important things is when you start to see, hey, my time has a lot of value, and when I'm spending it in the areas that really mattered the most, that's when things start to change.
Mhm. All right, so let's talk about hiring because I remember one of my first hires. Actually, when I took over the business, the one employee that my grandmother had, she actually quit, so it was just me. And then I remember, I was remodeling, actually doing some things with my grandparents, trying to get the salon up to date, and we had a toilet sitting out on the front porch because we were doing some work. And I remember someone walking through the door and I was like, wow, a person actually wants to work here. Like, I really didn't even ask that many questions. I might have got her to show me something she could do on a mannequin. Honestly, at the end of the day, if you think about it, like she stopped in with a toilet on the front porch. So that was exciting. I was just excited to have an employee, but I really didn't have the vision. Like at that age, like I didn't even, I was just, I was grateful that somebody gave me $5,000 so I could do a little remodeling by removing the toning tables and duck wallpaper that was on the current and carpet that was on at our current salon. So yeah, it's just really funny when you think about winging it versus truly having that vision.
I I love that story, Jen. And for me, it was very similar. And kind of um, what happened in the beginning was I had a small team of people when I bought an existing salon, and ended up releasing three of them. And then one of them was moving, one of them was having a baby. And so with the three people that were released, it was, now I have more tools to understand who they are as people and why, that was literally the best gift ever for both of us, really. But what it did at that time was it made me terrified to hire. And so, I was like, oh man, is everybody like these three people? And if that's the case, like, oh my gosh, this is so scary. And, that belief nearly broke me. I went from being too trusting to too closed off, but now we don't hire from fear. We hire with vision, much like you talked about, Jen, like, just getting crystal clear on who you are as a salon and who thrives in that environment. Because truly we are looking to create synergy, and synergy is 1+1=3 or a million, but if you get linked up with the wrong person, it doesn't even equal 2, 1+1 could also be -1 with the wrong person, and synergy is that energy being in alignment and really creating something incredible.
Yeah, I love that you said that because really hiring isn't about just feeling a table or a chair. It's about feeling your culture with the people, the right people who make your business feel better, not more chaotic. And that's why, Lindsay, I love what you said earlier. You're mentioning like you releasing those people and you realizing, hey, that was a great gift for them and for you. And that's why when it comes to hiring, like you are your greatest asset. And when you continue to work on yourself and get the coaching you need, like that's when you really truly can uncover what's possible, and that's how you will really understand like who are the right people for the vision that I'm building.
That is so true. And I totally agree with you, Jen, that it all starts with you as a leader pouring into yourself and getting that education and coaching necessary to continually get to the next level, and I think, another roadblock that I think of is pricing, because back in the day, we literally, I don't know if this is how you would do it too, Jen, but we would literally grab the Yellow Pages phone book that first of all, you would pay what felt like $1 million to advertise in. And who knows if you ever got an ROI on that, but we would flip through the phone book and call other salons and see what they were charging, And so I think people do the same thing now. A lot of salon owners will just look at other salons' websites. So maybe they're not busting out their yellow book, but they're looking at salons' websites and just basing their pricing on what everybody else is doing. And man, that was something that stood in the way for so long that I didn't realize was a huge thing standing in our way for a long time.
Oh yeah, I'll never forget the good old yellow book days. Even the cost to run an ad in the yellow books. I remember my grandmother always said, oh man, this is going to be so expensive. And back then, like 20 years ago, $300-$400 for an ad in the Yellow Pages was a lot of money. And so it's just interesting to see how everything has evolved, how now we have price based on actual demographics, on demand, on experience level, on that brand position, and on the transformation that we're delivering. It's not just what the salon down the street charges. There's actually science to it.
And I think that's what's so cool is, that's why we created something we are so excited to give you because, we made a salon pricing calculator just for you. And truly, you guys, it's one of the best tools we've ever created. And it's totally free. There's no catch. All you have to do is text the word pricing, PRICING, to 469-283-5590. And we'll send it straight to your phone. So whether you're just starting or you're ready to, raise your rates or have it be pricing that actually makes sense based on your demographics and specific to your area and salon. This is a total game changer.
Mm-hmm. So good. Yes, it is truly a total game changer. All right, so let's talk some more truth. Like, this is something that I used to do for my friends. This is a great conversation as a salon owner to make sure you're having these kind of conversations with your newer team members too. Is I used to do people's hair for free because I wanted to be liked. Like some of my friends that I thought were my really good friends, I would do their hair. And I'll never forget one time when someone said, got back to me that this friend told someone else, yeah, I don't want Jen doing my hair anymore. She does it like this, like old women. And I thought, wow, I'm not even charging you. And here you are telling people I do hair like old women. There's no way. And so it just, it's just so interesting when you think about it that like your true friends, they will want to pay for your experience and for your service that you provide. Mm-hmm. And so to really be able to, I would go back and do that a lot differently now. I definitely wouldn't do people for friends that I thought were my friends for free. I would truly create the model that we have now where we really focus on experience. And, when people pay, they pay attention and they appreciate it more. And so the day of giving away freebies just would no longer serve who we are today.
That is so beautiful, Jen. And it truly does like sort out who you thought your friends were. And, that's something that I know I've talked with my kids. You've talked with your nieces about like truly the definition of a friend is somebody you like, know, and trust. And I remember somebody that was once upon a time close to me, and they had a really good friend who was an insurance agent. And, they found out that they could save a couple of dollars by going to somebody else. And hindsight now is always 2020 because I was the one who was like, you have to stay with your friend. It doesn't matter how much it costs. You know what I mean? Like that's what friends do is, you support each other and you do this stuff. But if you want to sift through your friends really quick, clean up discounts that you were charging, or just better yet, just don't even start that way. And like Jen said, teach your team right from the jump, like, hey, don't offer discounts. We're not going to convince anybody to see our value. The right people will see your value, and the wrong ones, you absolutely have to just let them walk and know that it truly is the best gift. So I love everything that you shared about that, Jen.
Yeah, because really, I think it goes back to what we learned is that discounting doesn't earn loyalty. Mm-hmm. And begging for people's validation, which I thought I was doing my friend's hair was going to really give me that validation. Mm-hmm. It actually can bankrupt your confidence, especially when you don't have the right tools in hand. Mm-hmm. And so now, no discount, no convincing. The right people see your value, and the wrong ones, it's okay. Let them walk.
So good. Yes. And let's close with marketing because, we've done some things like back in my day, we actually painted painted specials on the window. That's right. So people would drive by and they'd see our monthly specials out on the window, and then we would also put ads in the phone book. I know we talked about that. Like, man, that was like several $100s a month that, you might not ever see that ROI. I mean, we would even like sponsor events or teams or random things that didn't bring a single guest in the door. And okay, sure, it put our name out there, but like how many people are actually paying attention to that? Do you know how many times they have to see your name for it to stick in? You're not Coke where, they're also seeing your ads everywhere else or, any of the other major brands. Like when you're a newer brand, you have to see an ROI for every dollar that you spend. So if you're marketing without measuring, man, that is like one of the most destructive things that you can do is to market without measuring it and seeing, because now we only invest where we can track ROI and see that we're getting a return on our investment.
Yeah, because if you think about it, Lindsay, it's like if you can't see the return, we don't run it. Like, we build funnels, we track the referrals, and we use custom codes or QR links so that we do have the measurement of looking at the ROIs. Because marketing at the end of the day isn't art class, it's actually math class. Mm-hmm. And you're not just throwing glitter everywhere, you're actually planting those seeds.
Yeah, I love that you said that. You're not just throwing glitter everywhere, you're planting those seeds because, sometimes it truly is like you're not going to get that investment back right away because people are going to have to see your name multiple times. But that doesn't mean quit doing your Google AdWords or quit doing
Mhm.
social media or whatever it might be. It's just getting really crystal clear on if you are having a dollar go out, you want to see it, come back eventually. And
Mhm.
so, I think if I could go back and tell my younger salon owner self just one thing, it would be this. And that's that you're not for everyone. And that is your superpower. So stop trying to be the Walmart of beauty, be Chanel, and really shine bright like a diamond.
I love stop trying to be the Walmart of beauty, be Chanel. That is so powerful. And I'd say something similar. Like you don't need to be perfect to be powerful. Just keep showing up, learning and leading. So here's what we know for sure is that better tools make your life easier. The right team makes your salon peaceful. Confident pricing makes your money flow, and strategic marketing makes growth predictable.
I love that. And if you want help with that pricing piece, don't forget to text pricing to 469-283-5590 and get our free calculator sent directly to your phone because it's time to stop surviving and start building the salon you've actually dreamed of. And we're so grateful to be building it right alongside you.